Hi, Maria. Thank you so much for being here and accepting my invitation. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. A little bit sleepy,
Yes,
but it's fine. I'm having my coffee here, so
coffee
I
is,
will perk up.
yes, coffee is essential. So, we're here today because I would love for you to share your story with us and with other women entrepreneurs because I find it so inspiring. You have been a guiding light for me as well in my business. Can you tell us a bit about you and what you do?
Well, I have a language business, and I think that's the widest I can get. And I used to be a Spanish teacher, but now I work with people who feel that they are not expressing themselves normally in Spanish as a second language, but in any foreign language or non-native language, they are not expressing themselves authentically, or they don't find the confidence, or they feel that they are not confident. And so I guide them to find, their voice and to find their confidence and to just, to express themselves and get better connections.
Yes. You call yourself an embodied language coach. What does that mean?
Oh God. Well, it is funny. As I was thinking about that yesterday on my walk, because I started to use the word embodied language just because I liked it. I was interested in embodiment precisely because I wasn't embodied my entire life, and exploring that, and I felt, well, embodiment has a role in the way I do languages. I speak in my native, non-native, in every language. And then slowly over time, I start, and I also have a background in academia. So my research for me is something that I am familiar, that makes me feel good. So slowly I started, doing research and realizing that there is a whole domain about embodiment and embodied cognition, embodied pedagogy that already exists. It's not mainstream, but it is there. And as I was knowing more about it, it's like, well, that's exactly what what I am doing. So embodied language coach, the way I understand it, is bringing the body into the language mix, into the process, um, bringing emotion, which is an essential part, and that's something that neurolanguage touches. The idea that movement and emotion are something that do things in our brain that helps us learn. And yeah, it is very, very connected with the body, and getting, you know um, literate about the the ways we really learn, which are not only intellectual. They are, it sounds like saying weird things, but as well as me that they are not.
No, no, no.
The intellectual phase, or the intellectual part in the learning process, is a tiny part, and it tends to be the shallowest one. What happens in the body and what the body allows is much more deeper and interesting. So that's what the embodied language coach kind of means.
Yes, I find it's difficult to really be complete about the answer because it's a kind of a new term, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So you told us that you started as a teacher specifically for Spanish and that has evolved. When did you start working online and creating your own business?
2011,
Wow.
August 2011.
That's 11 years now because we're in 2022.
Yep.
How did you start out? What made you want to start this journey?
Well, I was already a teacher, so I had already 4 or 5 years of teaching on my belt, like in schools and school of languages, and also traveling. For me, it was convenience, basically, because I just wanted to travel. I felt that my journey, my personal development journey, required me to get myself in uncomfortable positions, and that required me to travel solo for a while and go into places. And I had the immense privilege of meeting people who were already digital nomads, and they were already doing it. So we kind of created this little community where a master, well, it wasn't a mastermind, we were friends. Like it's now everything has names, but back then it was just, we were sharing things, and in a way I found that support of taking the leap into just, okay, I'm just going to have a website and I start doing this, um, and that's how it started.
Yeah, yeah, and I can hear here the very, you know, crucial importance of support and having an example, because it's, I mean, back in 2011, that was pretty new, being digital nomads and things like that. Like I did the same thing. It was 2017. It was already 6 years later. It was not normalized, but it was, many people were doing that. Those hubs already existed. That might not have been the case when you started out.
No, and even for the business angle, I did a lot of things wrong just because I didn't know. And I started a podcast, like some people didn't know. I have started 3 podcasts already. And at the first one, I just had no idea. And there were not that many, from resources to places to do the podcast. And it was much more, kind of professional, kind of, if you are a techie person, but if you are like a regular random teacher who has
Yeah,
never had a business, there's nothing out there. So there were a lot of things that I did wrong precisely for that. But at the same time, now looking back, I'm super grateful for all the experience I got. Like, yeah,
yeah, because that out of
I'm happy that
mistakes.
I could discover things by myself,
Mm, mm.
just by
Were there
trying.
like, I'm curious then, were there less, because now like we have so much information available on how to, you know, how to gain visibility, how to do a business, how to return clients, la la. Like it's like there's a lot of information that sometimes is even contradictory.
Yeah,
Was there less at the time? Like if you typed how to start a business online, did you have like 3 websites?
much less, much less,
Less
much
than
less,
3.
much less. And so they were starting to pop out, like the idea of digital nomads and freelancers, and starting the life coaching started at that time
Mm,
as well. Um, but it was more kind of rudimentary.
yeah.
You start your blog with no clear idea of where you're going, and slowly the business finds you. But yeah, in my responding to your question, if you Google things about that, you would find a couple of things, but very what's the word, like very formal, like not like now, like you now can find, you kind of start your own business as a side hustle and make it work, and you have lots of clear guidance. Back then it was kind of more official, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you have to do these documents, or you have to go to this office, like even the idea of you traveling and having a business, that when you are not living on a place, that was, there were people doing it, but that wasn't.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But still now, I mean, it's always a difficult thing to like. It's easier,
But
but
you
for
can
still,
find information,
yes,
even if our respective countries don't know how to deal with us. We can find information because there's been loads of people who have been doing it for years, so they are giving advice. But
yes,
back then
yes,
there were many, well, there were less. So
yes, for sure, for sure. How did you navigate all that? What was your, you know, your lightning torch? I want to say.
well, no, I got a lot of help from people, and that's what I am talking about when I feel privileged to, like, I will be forever grateful for the people I met at the beginning, who were people who, from people who started maybe a couple of years earlier, or started at the same time, and we just get like helping each other in a way. Like it wasn't, yeah, it was a community, and I did get help, even people who helped me with the website at the beginning. I had no idea, and I had friends who were into, like, they were selling services about that precisely. It was how, well, I built your website for 50. I had a friend that had this started a business precisely with $50 websites, and he built it mine. I was $50, and he started like that. That was his beginning. Now he's,
Of course, yeah.
you know,
That's amazing.
with a happy business. But so because we were starting, and we there wasn't this idea of competition or selling my services to each other. Like, we were just helping
Helping
each other because we wanted to make this work.
Yeah. It was about figuring it out together at the time, right?
So yeah, I got loads of help back then.
Yes. How would you say your business or your path or even like your inside world has evolved over these last 11 years on this journey?
Oh my God.
Were you expecting it? Were you expecting that transformation?
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think I have said this very often. My business is a part of my personal development journey.
Yeah.
And that's why my business has been changing. And very often, if you've been following me for a while, you may perceive that I don't have a strategy in business, which is true, because I don't have a strategy for life, so at the beginning, I was trying to keep my business separate from my personal development journey. But at some point, I realized that if I wanted to be authentic, which was the most important thing for me, and it still is, I had to merge all the different parts of me. And it wasn't possible for me to have a face for my business and then having a completely different life, which was more rich and fulfilling than my business. Now my business is as rich and fulfilling as the rest of my life, and that's nice. So it changed me completely, because all the challenges and all the things I had to learn because of my business, there are things that I had to apply to that apply to my life. There's no difference. And yeah, so
have you felt like somehow, because this is something I've heard a lot and I've felt myself, like if I don't pay attention to this particular area of my own, inner world, to my blockages, to maybe something to heal, that I need to attend to that to be able to be more aligned or more authentic or serving better in my business? Have you felt that in a way because you were driven to make it work in your business, whatever that means for everyone, right? Then it pushed you in a way to heal some parts of yourself as well?
Yes and no. I'd say that there are different levels, and I probably at the beginning, for me, when I had a lot of things to heal and I had a lot of things in the shadows, yeah, there were, I think, a lot of things that came up that affected my business, or that I realized through my business. Like, oh,
right. More like putting the spotlight on.
It was more at the beginning, and at the beginning, I'm not talking about a year or 2 years. Like, I'm talking about 5 to 6 years at the beginning of a business. Now less. Now I also believe that you can have a completely successful business without healing.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
So, but there has to be a balance. There has to be an attention to all angles of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, it's a yes and a no. It depends on where you are. It depends on what kind of healing we're talking about, or what areas it affects. Like, I mean,
yes. Yeah, it's very wide.
It's complex. But yeah, in a way, it's a yes, and in a way, I would say not necessarily.
Not necessarily. I think I really appreciate that answer, because it not necessarily, I've heard many people as well, because then, like, you're right, we start a journey and then you realize there are things that come up because yes, all your inner shit comes out because you have to show up, you have to show yourself, you have to be, you have also these messages that you have to be a strong, confident person in order to succeed, and you do need confidence, right? And you do need
Okay.
a strong base of self-esteem, and so all of these things, they show up because we all lack them in some ways. But the trap that I've heard a lot is, oh, I need to heal myself completely before I'm able to have a successful journey, a successful business, sorry. And that is the trap. And it's, I think, even detrimental to you, to your health, to your person, and to your business, and to the world, because then you're not making the contribution that you want to make. And it's just a way of delaying the moment that you take action.
And
You
the
know,
thing is, I believe that we will never be healed. Like it just
exactly,
because, or maybe the way I understand it, healing is it depends. Like it depends on what you're healing. There are so
exactly,
many layers and so many things, and you can
exactly.
have a completely happy life
Yeah,
with things that aren't touched.
yeah, yeah,
It
absolutely.
is. It depends on how. Like I think that you and I were in a personal development journey as well. So we are driven and interested in healing ourselves, but probably we will forever be interested in that, and we will find even more things and more things. We will be 80 years old ladies, and it's like, oh, there is something here. But that's because we are in this path, we chose this path.
Yes.
But someone can be happy,
Mhm.
a perfect human, contributing to society, having a happy business, and happy by like sustainable, um, without healing themselves. Yeah, I don't think we owe healing to anyone.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, it has an impact, of course, but we can do
yes.
business, we can do our things.
Yeah, and I mean, the people who I work with and my audience, people watching here, generally also are on that, self discovery,
Which
self
is great.
development journey, which is very brave, and I think it's
Yeah.
it's wonderful to do that. And like you said, the fact that for anyone that has this, appeal to consciousness, I think when you, like we said, starting this development of journey is going to bring light onto things. And you're right, we're never completely healed because the journey is bringing more and more awareness to all the layers of you that need
Yeah,
more acceptance. Maybe healing is just that, is bringing awareness and then acceptance. This is here. This has been here for years. It's me. It's my past. It's my transgenerational trauma. It's
exactly. So you're healing yourself, but you're also healing
the past
your
and the
your
future.
your
Yeah.
past and past generations. And it is like it is great that you do that, even more so if if you have family. But in general, because we are always interacting with other
Yes.
people, so that creates ripples. So healing and going in the self-discovery healing journey is wonderful. I would recommend it to everyone, but I don't. What I want to say here is that it's not necessary,
Yeah, yeah. And you don't need to
and
have
you
a
can take
tribe
breaks.
anywhere.
Like I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you can take breaks
Yeah.
where it's like, well, I
Absolutely.
know all this shit is here.
I love that you're saying that. Like, there's no
I'm
need
just
to
going to go for
pressurize
coffee
yourself
and do
to.
whatever. Yeah. It's just our lives. Like, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. What would be, now that you have gained so much wisdom, what would be
oh
one
God.
thing you have, though? I was saying it with a smile, but you have. I know how humble you are about this, but what would be something you would tell yourself 10 years ago? A piece of advice.
Well, I would tell myself to so many things. um, to connect with more people and to pay more attention to the way I relate. I would tell myself to pay more attention to the relationships rather than this quite isolating self-discovery journey. And I don't know if this is making sense. I was focused very much for many years in my path, in how I could improve myself. Oh my God, improving. It was about me. And it was only when I started to see myself in relationship with others that everything has changed in a way that is much more gentle and heartwarming. And even in my business, it feels much more aligned. So I would tell myself, just pay more attention to your relationships, not only the personal relationships and friendships and all that, but relationship with my clients and the information I could have been getting and implementing that was beyond the topic itself which was Spanish in the past and grammar and all that, but paying attention to that. But those clients were bringing me as gifts to improve or to grow. I think that would be it.
Yes. Has that inspired you to create your brand new program for teachers?
Yeah, in a way, because I just realized that nothing exists in isolation.
Can we talk about this program a little bit more?
And yeah, it's all about, well, and this program, it's all about the relationship with ourselves, the relationship with the language, because you know that this program is oriented to language teachers and coaches. So the relationship we have with the language and languages, the relationships we have with culture, with mindset, with business, it is all in relationship. So it's having the focus on the impact and what we want to perpetuate or don't want to perpetuate. And for that, we need to be very aware and very clear on what the impact is. And to know what the impact is, we need to know the other element in the relationship. Mm-hmm. And so that's the program. Probably this sounds quite esoteric. If that is the thing, tell me.
Not necessarily.
I can be more clear.
let's so this is it's a mentorship training program for online language teachers and coaches.
Yeah. 6 months.
Did I get the title right?
Yeah, I know it's very long. I probably will change it.
Well, at least it's very self-explanatory, which is...
Yeah, well, that was the point, because what I didn't want is to give my flavor to the course, which is weird. If you know me, you know that I always try to do things my way. In this way, I just didn't. I am not here to teach anything to anyone. I keep repeating that. And that's why I tried to find the title that was as neutral and objective as I could. We are going to be working with different pedagogical methods. We are going to be, the idea for this training is that the people who participate in it, they get to find, in the same way that I think that embodied cognition and embodied learning found me, because I was just doing my own things. Oh, as I said at the beginning, there was this connection. I want the people who participate in this training to let the method find them. And for that, we are going to be starting with a personal phase, exploration. So we're going to be exploring emotional literacy and emotional intelligence, which is very important for ourselves and for our learners, and questioning everything that is related with ourselves and the way we do business and the way we teach. And that's at the very beginning. The core of this training is questioning absolutely everything that is related with our business. And there are a lot of things that are in this box. And from there, yeah, I'm going to do my best to expose the participants to very different approaches to learning and teaching and seeing languages so they can get to feel, and it's going to be very practical as well, get to feel where their attention is going by the exploration they have done at the beginning. So it's, maybe embodied pedagogy is for me, or maybe that's not for me, and maybe I am veered towards a more, the neuro language approach, which is, and all of them, in a way, they are all very interconnected because everything is, or a more holistic approach, but for that we need to be aware of all the different things, and we need to be aware of who we are. And then what else? We are talking trauma. We are talking conditioning, we are talking culture and interculturalism, and something that I don't think haven't seen that much is how we perceive things is completely connected with our culture, and that we need to be super aware of that so that we can relate to our clients in a way that it is not even if we are teaching our language within this culture, teaching culture is I'd say quite a tricky thing. So we need to be aware of all the things that are being impacting and determining and guiding our perception so that we can help our learners to understand that what we are saying may not be true. It's like, I want to create something that is an equal relationship, because even if we are friendly teachers, there is a power play always. And what I want to break down and I want to, in a way, destroy is that.
Right.
I want to create an equal, or I want to create, I'm just like, that sounds super arrogant. I don't want to create shit. I just want to, guide or help to find a way just to bring awareness at the hierarchy and the mindsets we are bringing just by doing what we do, and just find other ways of relating with our clients that are much more equal. And what's the word? Retro feeding. Like, when I am learning from you, you're learning from me.
Yeah. I don't know the word, but that was clear.
Yeah, well, something like that. Like in a circle.
Right.
And equal.
Yeah. That sounds wonderful. So you would say that this is for, we said online teachers and coaches, but how would they recognize themselves that this is for them?
But because they would recognize themselves in that they already have experience and they have felt that there is something going on. And I'd say that in the past couple of years, almost 3 years, we've seen problems with our ways and the things that we have assumed that were the way to do things. And we've been confronted with our darkness. So it is for teachers who have seen that there is darkness in teaching and in the language industry, and they want to explore how to not perpetuate and bring light into that darkness. So probably I'd say for teachers who already have experience, and for teachers who are oriented towards community impact, conscious leaders, in a way, if you want to use that term, to people who are aware of the impact they have.
Yeah. Beautifully put. That was clear. Clarity is everything.
And that makes me very happy.
Yes, and I can see how that could be a challenge, because you're creating something new that doesn't exist before, and so it's really hard sometimes to, well, I find it challenging to put words that are really clear so that the person that this is for will recognize themselves and say, "Hey, that's me." I think you did it right
Okay,
there.
well, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yay. Okay. And so this program is open now, right?
Yeah,
For registrations. It's a 6 month program.
yeah. So 6 months. We start on the 29th of August. Um, so getting close, and we're going to have a combination of group calls, individual one-to-ones, and also a lot of personal, personal study time. That's probably the most important part. And the last month, I find that I really want to bring this up. The last month is about integration, so there won't be anything new. But probably that's the time where participants are going to get to meet the guest experts in the different areas that we're going to be talking about, like business, conscious marketing, leadership, copywriting. That's very important. The words we use. What else? We have people who have extensive experience in the language industry with businesses that are established. So they are very generously also going to participate. You are going to participate.
I am.
So yeah, that would be towards the end, but the end is more for integration and just, letting the things seep in
Yeah.
and settle and ask questions and connect with these amazing people that are going to participate as well.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful. How can people sign up?
Well, there is a website. And yeah, it's everything is there. It's in my website, mariaortegagarcia.com, under the teacher section.
Yes.
And yeah, so um,
Yeah. So people can have a look there. I'll add the link in the description
yeah,
of the video and of the podcast, and so you guys can have a look. And I guess that you are open to people sending you messages for more
oh
information, or
yes,
if they're not so sure that this is for them or something.
yeah, please, if there is any question, if it is not clear what we're going to do and you want to know more to see if that's for you or that's for you now,
Yeah.
please reach out. And also, if there is any problem with, or you find that paying the fee this time is a challenge, but you still want to come because there's something that is telling you this is for you, also reach out. There will be scholarships that are, well, it's already gone, a couple of them. So yeah, reach out.
Yes, there are different possibilities there for everyone. Thank you so much, Maria, and thank you for your time and sharing your story with us. And yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a
my
nice chat.
pleasure. My pleasure. We'll connect soon. Bye bye.
Bye.